Welcome to the Toke&Trans podcast, where two Toke&Trans guys talk life, love, and getting high. Grab a J and join us. We do not condone the consumption of illicit activities with anyone under the age of 21.
So last episode was really heavy. We're going into this one a little bit more goofy, a little bit more chill. We're going to talk about some relatable trans things. Hopefully relatable.
Can you relate to us? Maybe we're the only ones, but it's fine. Maybe you're also thinking these things about yourself.
Yeah.
That's
we never have these conversations. Like, we never hear about this kind of stuff. We hear what cis people read about us and then say back to us because they're the ones that are our gender therapists and stuff. So
a lot of primary care people are still learning even how to help us in general. So a lot of these, what I guess are symptoms, sometimes, or those things are. Fuck, I lost my train of thought.
Right. Well, like if a doctor tells you, if you're starting hormone replacement therapy, you might experience this thing or this thing or this thing. And then if you don't experience those things, like, is something wrong with me? Am I on the right dose? Like, if that's what's supposed to happen to me, how am I supposed to know? And then, you may not be around a lot of trans people to have these kinds of conversations with, like me and Aaron do all the time. So
absolutely,
that's what made us want to do this episode. We were like, you know what? I wonder if other trans people need to hear these conversations.
Does this happen to you too?
Because
it happens to us.
Exactly.
Now,
so
you might not have to be on T for all of these things. Some of these things are not T related.
Exactly.
So you might not have to be on T to experience some things. Oh, I just literally thought of another one. Let me put it on my list.
I'll put it on your list because my first thing starts out with me not being on T.
Okay, that's perfect. That will be the perfect thing.
Cool. So using the men's room before starting testosterone, I was working at an arts and crafts store. We shall keep its name out of it.
Yeah.
I was working at an arts and crafts store, and I was very openly trans. I wasn't stealth. I couldn't have been. I wasn't on testosterone. But I also, like, it has always been a part of my manifesto to normalize the trans experience to cis people.
Absolutely.
I want them to know what is going on so that they understand that this is something that happens and it's a normal thing, so instead of having to hide it or whatever. So when I got hired at this place, I was like, obviously my name is different on my legal paperwork and all that, so I don't go by that name, and that name shouldn't be anywhere that's displayed. That my real name, Bo, should be on the schedule that people can see. I don't want it anywhere to be that name visible. And they very much listened to me, and that's what happened. Bo was on the schedule, and when Bo got his paycheck, because it had to be made out to my dead name, me and the boss were the only person that saw my paycheck because they didn't, nobody needed to know. And also being pre-testosterone, or not on testosterone, I was still menstruating, and I only used the men's room at work. I would not use the women's room, and there aren't any sanitary trash cans in the men's room stalls.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, so I would have to pocket my trash and then wait or hope that nobody was in there, and then throw it in the big trash can that was in the public area of the bathroom. Until I went to my boss, who was a cis man, and I was like, Bernard, look,
what a problem.
I used the men's room, and he was the coolest boss I've ever had in my whole life. I gotta preface that. He was the best boss, the coolest boss.
That. Yeah, no.
He was, besides Kai.
Oh yeah, of course.
He was the best retail boss I've ever had in all my days. God
awesome.
Bless that man. I hope he's doing wonderful.
Attaboy.
Yeah. So and he was very supportive of me. So I went to him and I was like, so I used the men's room. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, I still menstruate. And he was like, I got you. And I was like, I just need a trash can in the stall. He was like, I got you. Next day, trash can in the stall.
Boom, execution.
And he was like, you know what, this should be a thing, like, that we just have, because
That's a pain.
it's a public bathroom. It's not like it's just the employee bathroom.
Right.
So he's like, you know, customers, what if we have trans customers
Yeah, it's
that
not
are
just me.
right,
I'm
yeah,
not the only trans person.
exactly.
Yeah.
So every one of those stores that I ended up working at, they kept that trash can. It wasn't like after I left it was gone. You know, they kept the trash can in the men's room. And nobody asked any questions about it.
Yeah, I mean,
You know, it wasn't like, why is there a trash can in the men's room? Why is I see pad wrappers in the, like, nobody says anything about that. We think that, like, oh, someone's gonna be like,
right.
there's feminine product wrappers in the trash can of the men's stall. Like, nobody gives
Yeah.
a
No one cares. No one cares. Literally,
no one
guys,
cares.
most guys don't even wash their hands, let alone dry them with something and throw that actually in the trash can. If you've ever used a men's bathroom, you know, it looks like garbage most of the time. And you're like terrified. You're doing the solid hover, like thighs of steel, trying to just pee enough to make it to where you can get home without being mad and like, no one talk to me.
Yeah.
Like, my gosh. No.
Yeah. So I just, that was a big, it made my life at work a lot more comfortable, because I straight up asked for what I needed.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a man and I bleed and I need that trash can in the stall, because I don't stand to pee, and I'm also not going to change my tampon at the urinal.
That's not gonna happen.
So
No.
that was one thing I learned really quickly.
Yeah.
Like, just say it. Just say what the problem is. Like, I need a 15-minute break. I've been wearing my binder for 7 hours. I need to take it off in the bathroom and just sit for a second.
Yes.
And, you know, your needs should be met. You should be accommodated. You
Yes.
shouldn't have to lie. You know?
Man, I didn't. I just suffered. That's yeah. I should have said something.
I know.
But pre-T, you're just like, pre-T or not on T. Like, it's just, you people, like, you know, people stare at you. People are like trying to figure it out, you know, and it's like, yeah, I can see what you're saying. It's good to ask for what you need and to put your needs out there, because you may not be the only person. Especially if you think you have it in you, please try, because there's a lot of people that don't have it in them. So like me, I wasn't able to ask for those things. You think I'm like me, super confident, whatever. But like even pre-T, like I was confident, but still no, like I wouldn't have asked for those things. So I also did the paperwork thing. Like, you know, no one looks at my paperwork. Don't fucking say that. Don't, please don't. Like,
Right.
focus here.
Yeah.
But I'm in small town Tennessee. So I think when I bring it up and I do tell someone or a business, I think they get a little spooked. So like with my paycheck, I was able to be like, hey, like, this is my name, this is my action, this is the name that everything's going to be on. It's because I'm trans. Here's my paperwork, blah 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 blah, or whatever. And they literally like left my name alone. So I was surprised as a bank I could bring in Aaron's paycheck, but on my, even under the bank, my name was something else. And I don't know if they were just like spooked about it and just like wrote a note, was just like, hey, just like, this is why those like those checks don't match. But I have no idea. But they let me cash my checks, which is a little strange.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I just explained everything. It was like, look, this is how it is. So there are some situations I did explain, you know, to try to make it easier. Yeah, for sure.
I think there's a lot more of that explaining to do when you pre-T. Or if you don't plan on going on T, then it's, you know, just forever explaining, which is a pain in the butt. But the good thing is, the more we explain, the more we normalize this experience, the less explaining there's going to be to do in the future.
Especially for the next guy, for the next girl, for the next person.
Right.
So they deserve to have, you know, a little bit easier than us. Like,
just a little bit.
Just a tad. Whatever we can give, whatever we can give them.
Yeah. So speaking of using the bathroom.
Tell them, Bo. Tell them about that one time.
So I don't really pack that much anymore, because I'm affirmed in other ways. I packed a lot when I was pre-T, because that was what affirmed me, binding and packing. And I only had like a couple pairs of dedicated packing underwear with the pocket. And when I didn't have that, I just wore boxer briefs and like tucked the packer in the little fly And usually I wouldn't have any problems. It stayed there. Sometimes I would have to adjust myself, but
Everybody does.
everybody does. So I figured if somebody saw me adjusting myself, that would only be more affirming for me. Um,
Yeah.
so this one time, I went to use the bathroom stall, and as one does,
You normally would start by.
I pulled down my pants to then sit on the toilet. And I pulled down my pants with such a force
Really.
that my packer jumped out of my boxers, rolled over my foot, and bounced right onto the guy's foot who was using the urinal right next to my stall. Aaron,
No.
I was mortified.
An hour before I left.
I was like, I'm not leaving. I can't ever leave.
No.
Can he give me a hot plate and some water? Because this is my apartment now.
That's my boy trying to get in here. I need water.
But
My God.
listen, this guy, I don't
do you
bless
do?
this guy, wherever he
You
is.
do.
He said, do you know what he said to me, Aaron? He said, I hate when that happens. And then he kicked it back under the stall for me.
Oh my God. And then he left.
Yes, and then he did it. He washed his hands, and then he left. And
Oh,
I finished peeing. I washed my hands. I left, and I was like looking. As soon as I
I
left, I was like,
man, I wish that person is probably telling this story
uh,
all the time. Like that is probably their like default story about, especially when trans people in bathrooms come up 1,000%. And just one time, I was just standing there and I got smacked with a freaking
someone's
dildo
dick
in
and
their
balls
face.
just
That's all they think, you know.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing in the stall?
right. How are you pissing? Your dick and balls just fell off.
Yo, you need a doctor?
Bro said, I hate when that happens, and then just kicked it.
Oh my God. You probably waited for forever to leave.
I did. I waited. My face was so red. I was, oh God.
You're in a box. Like, even in the box, you'd be like
I
underneath.
was like
Please don't.
sweating. And you know I cry at everything. I was crying.
Of course. Of course.
Oh, I was like, oh my God.
Oh, dude, no, absolutely no.
Yeah, after that, I was a lot more careful. That's the kind of thing that only has to happen once before it never happens again, you know?
Forever. Like, if you drop your phone in the toilet, you forever will know.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen again.
Yeah.
I will, if I
Don't have
pack,
a door.
it's gonna be secure.
It will be
I will be slow and intentional with my pulling down my pants.
all of my maneuvering will be thought through.
Yeah. Oh God, bless that
Imagine if
man.
it didn't have a door. If the stall didn't have a door, if that happened.
I'd piss against a building before I piss in a stall with no door.
Oh, dude. Or if they don't have any lock, it just kind of swings, and you're like, I hope someone looks for my feet, and
You know,
they come in here. It's gonna be real weird. It's gonna get
yeah.
weird very quickly.
That's when you pee with like one foot up against the. You do like a one leg squat and put one foot up against the
one-legged
stall.
squat. You're hearing these people, and then even then you have to hope it doesn't just keep going further. And
Oh,
you're
yeah, no, 'cause
one-legged
then you fall
squat when
down.
someone turns the corner. That's not what we're trying to do either, Bo. But I did post this on my TikTok, and someone commented and said to take toilet paper and fold it up in a big giant wad and put it in between where normally the lock is, or where the lock should be, or is busted, and it's like that way you can smudge the door shut.
Oh my God.
So it stays, at least doesn't swing with the wind when someone opens the main door. And I was like, boom,
That's brilliant.
that's the ticket.
Shout out to that person.
So
Wow.
I should mention it because that one is
Yeah.
gonna help me in the future for a while.
Yeah. Wow. Now I don't have to do the one-legged squat anymore.
You're welcome. Well, you still have to squat, but you'll probably need to use
Yeah.
you'll
Like
have
use
2 legs,
both my legs.
which you'll need to be able to. Sometimes it's just, oh my God, it's so hard.
Oh man.
Lord, no.
Your turn.
My turn.
Your
I think
turn.
something that is something that should definitely be mentioned is when packing, I am unable to pack without it looking like I am having a raging boner.
Same.
It doesn't matter if I get the 3 well, two, I mean, there's small, but 3 inches is really fucking small. And it still looks like you're just like wide awake, like you just came out of the bedroom. Like it's not it. It's
I
not,
know.
it's not,
I know.
I don't understand that either.
I don't like it.
I'm not able, I can't pack. I can't. I have tried a lot of packers. I'll tell you guys, a lot of packers.
I've seen
All of
the
them are in
Tupperware.
here somewhere, but no, I'm still working on the one for me. So
Yeah. Packing is hard. I have what some might call oh God,
what is, oh God, what are they gonna call it?
Aaron. It's just because I'm fat, you know?
Yeah,
My pussy's fat.
right. All right.
And like I feel like I probably don't need to pack because my pussy's fat.
You have a
You
natural.
know, like I just have a natural kind of bulge from it.
Oh yes. Use it, Bo. You use what you got.
Use what you got. Like I have
Use
camel
what you got. I
toe.
mean, what else are you supposed to do? We're using what we got.
Oh my God.
My God.
I can't believe oh God, listen, if my mother ever, I'm sorry.
No, I will.
My-
Well, okay. Slice. We'll make sure to slice and say, family, if you're watching this might not be the episode for you. You might want to skip on if you're not trans in our family or close to us, and you don't really want to hear some intimate, interesting,
Details.
personal details that you might need to be trans to understand. But yeah, if you're my family, don't watch. That's
Yeah,
all. That's all.
neither. Yeah.
Moving on.
Moving on. So yeah, since since I have a fat pussy, I feel like I don't need to pack. Which, you know, I think is a boss move, in my opinion.
It's a budget move. It's a boss.
It is.
A boss
It
budget move, and you're using what you got, and I think that's super important.
It is.
Yeah.
But the downside to having a fat pussy, there are few. There are very few. But one would be using an STP. It's like, I feel like made for
People that don't have
people with not a fat pussy. Like,
down there.
yeah, because it's like my pussy.
Yeah, every time you say it, go ahead.
I'm high, and every time I say it, it just
Makes you laugh.
Oh my God! Like
Don't
every
forget,
time
you
I
guys,
use an
it's
STP, it's like
Trans.
my Toke&Trans. We're toking and transing. So anyway, every time I use an STP, Aaron,
it doesn't.
It doesn't. It's because I don't know if I just need to find one, but like my fat pussy lips just fill up the whole reservoir, and then I piss on myself because there's no room for pee. It's just all pussy.
I see. I have never heard that be asked.
What?
I've never heard that be asked. Like, I've never heard that be like a frequently asked question or like a comment or a question about F products, because I collaborate with a couple of different like trans friendly businesses, and some of them have prosthetics, and I've never heard that being an issue. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's hard. And then like, so if I want, I have to like
spread
it all the way.
Yes,
and then put and then my lips are just like eating.
No, there's no space.
The cup.
Yeah.
And then it's still just my dick and like my flaps.
Yep. Yeah.
In the cup, and like there's no room for pee, and I can't wear it like that all the time. I can't just wear an STP cup like inside my labia majora. It'd be awful, and I've done it before, and it gave me a horrible rash.
I'm sure.
So if I wanted to use a urinal with an STP, I would have to reach down my pants, spread my lips, fucking get it all, and that's not.
I've never used a urinal. Never used a urinal. Can't do it. I can't use the cup styles because it's like a sensory thing for me. Everything's too wet, and I still feel like I need to wipe. So that eliminates 99, not 99, but a lot of like STPs.
Right.
For you, because there's only so many options that you can.
Right.
Now there is a spouty the spouty, which is my next one that I'm going to try, and it starts at the um at the source, which is your urethra. Right. And so for people like you, when you have a lot of tissue down there, or it's actually better because it holds it in place compared to someone who, if they didn't have a lot of tissue, that there wouldn't be any tissue to close
Right.
and hold it there. So I don't know. It's supposed to start at the urethra, and it's supposed to be like no wetness. So that's the next thing I'm trying, but I haven't started that situation. But you know,
Sounds promising.
it's a lot of trial and error when you're picking packers and STPs.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of money that you lose.
Expensive stuff.
Exactly.
You can't return that shit.
You cannot, zero return. I mean, there's like trans like groups and stuff for people to like buy discounted like prosthetics, because you can like boil them and shit and stuff in there.
Right.
But yeah, there's businesses can't return them, and then you're out a lot of money. I mean, there are prosthetics. I mean, you can buy ones for $5 and it'll show, or you can buy one for $700 or more. I mean, it's huge. It's just like a prosthetic, as if if you had a problem with your leg, or if you had a problem with your hand and you had to buy a hand prosthetic, like this can be expensive as shit. I mean, there's a lot of businesses that are working on making it cheaper, and they're doing a good job of that, but it's, no matter what, you're going to go through multiple to find the one that's right for you, if you are the one that's right for you.
Truly.
True.
I've been through quite a few, and I'm just like,
Yeah. And then
I've had this.
Your junk is huge, like grown, and it's really sensitive. And it can't touch my boxers. It can't touch my SP. It can't touch anything.
Oh my God. Bottom growth, when we first got it. Oh my God. I wanted to die. It hurt so bad.
No, it's such an uncomfortable feeling. It makes you see why the kids, like little boys, when they're still in diapers, they always have their hand in their pants, and they're like kind of uncomfortable. It makes sense, because that hurts. That's touching their diaper, and it's like, that's not it.
Yeah. Fucking wearing anything, having a labia at all was like painful.
You feel every single thing it bumps against.
Everything, every thread, every little fucking breath, and it was like, oh man,
it's not it.
So impossible to have sex during that time. It was like, I don't even. This doesn't feel like this. Like, it doesn't feel like how it did before. No, you know, like
things are different.
Right, even masturbation is totally different. I still I had no idea, because the things I did before didn't do what they used to.
Right, things are different.
Things are different. Things felt different, and things were like
different.
They looked different. They were way more sensitive, but also not as sensitive at the same time. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because like I couldn't shave. Well, I never like shaved bald down there, but I like give myself a buzz cut, military crew down there.
Yeah.
And
high tight. No, I'm kidding.
High and tight on the pussy.
I mean, I only think halfway through these things, and then they fly through my mouth, and I'm like, man,
yeah, absolutely. High and tight. That's how we do.
All right.
So
gotcha.
I couldn't do that because the short spiky hairs were like fucking needles on my bottom growth.
No.
It was horrible. I had to keep my labia moisturized with, I used the trans tape oil.
Hey.
Yeah, because it smelled nice, and it was nice, and it felt good. And but if my labia was dry, not oily, then like the dry skin would rub on my bottom growth, and it would it felt like sandpaper.
Awful. No. And
absolutely
then it's hard because you want it way more if you're on hormones, like your libido goes bananas. If it wasn't before. I mean, for me, mine might stay the same because mine was always bananas. But it's really common for it to be like 4x, 5x as much.
Yeah.
And it's like for your partner, that's adjustment for them too.
Yeah, it truly is.
Believe that there, but just saying.
I was with him already after I started testosterone, so I was kind of like already mellowed out. by
Right.
then, but I was
Or he knew where you were at, didn't change or go up or down or
right.
yeah.
I mean, I have always been hypersexual, but starting testosterone, it was like a madman. I was like fucking everything. Everything was making me horny. I was like, what the shit? What is that?
Like that right there is a symptom for sure.
Like the green M&M, really? That's what's doing it now?
It's cold crap.
And also I was hungry as fuck. It was like no matter how much I ate, I was just hungry all the fucking time.
Hungry.
Just so hungry, horny and hungry. That was it. Now, one thing what?
For how long?
I don't even remember. Maybe like the first year.
Yeah. So I was like 6 months. I was like, no, probably a year.
I think it was probably a whole year that I was like that.
Yeah, I'd agree.
But one thing my doctor said was that it might affect my mood. I might find myself more angry. I might find myself with the inability to cry. And no, that didn't happen. I didn't get more angry.
I didn't get more angry.
I'm not an angry person. I never was. I cry when I get mad. I cry when I get frustrated. I cry when I see people being nice. I cry when I see people being sad. You know, like
no.
I cry when I see people cry. I cry at everything.
Yeah.
I cry when I meet new people because I'm nervous. Like that didn't stop. I still cry at the drop of a dime.
Dude, I'm totally. I didn't experience the extra anger, which is super funny because I was an angry child. I was an angry teenager. I had a lot of like pent up anger, probably built up from all the crap. So I was an angry kid.
Did you punch any walls?
Oh, dude, yeah. I almost broke my hand multiple times. I mean, swollen. I mean, seriously, it was bad. But I learned to, I did a lot of therapy and grew and learned from it and learned how to handle that. But with HRT, I was super concerned, like, is that going to get out of hand?
Right.
Like I did a lot of work to make sure that I got everything under control. But if it gets harder, that's going to be tougher. But no, I didn't get any more mad at all. No, that was good for me.
Yeah. One thing, oh man, back to bottom growth. I just remembered it. Learning, like relearning how to clean yourself. Because now essentially, like with bottom growth, you have a foreskin. You have to clean under that foreskin. I didn't fucking know.
I know, but that's the thing that like with little, like just like with kids, like you have to teach them to do those things. And we are like transitioning as grown adults. There's no one there that's like, okay, this is normal. This is what this is what you're supposed to do. Like, there's no manual.
But if my doctor was going to say, you might experience more anger, you might experience the inability to cry, you might experience vaginal dryness. Why the fuck aren't you telling me that I need to pull back my foreskin and clean under it? Like, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And the crying thing.
When I first started doing it, that shit hurt so bad. Cleaning under the foreskin, because everything's so fucking sensitive. First of all, my dick used to be a clit.
Right.
It still kind of is.
For 101, it is. It's this. It just grows, like normally up to like what, probably 2 inches max, just for people to understand.
Yeah,
what
like
happens.
A couple inches.
It grows from what it is a little bit more for most people. Some people it's more. Some people it's less.
Hey.
Some people it's barely, but some people.
You see that? You see that? That's what I'm working with, huh?
Everybody is
like that.
See, we don't have the statistics to know what the average trans person's size is. We can't Google that like you can Google everybody else. But we're
fat too.
Get out of here.
I told you I have no TMI filter, Aaron.
I know, it's fine. The people like it. Good for them to hear it. Sometimes it's easier to explain because Bud will just explain it.
Yeah. So anyway, cleaning under the foreskin with, a 3-inch long clitoris.
I cannot even handle this.
Like, so what happens is normally, like before testosterone, the head of the clitoris is covered by the hood. So it's not exposed all the time. But after bottom growth, your head emerges from the hood, and the hood then becomes your foreskin. And unlike an uncircumcised cis male penis, which is, the head is completely covered by the foreskin, that's not the case for, trans man bottom growth. The head is completely exposed, and it's also 10 times fucking sensitive, 10 times more sensitive than a cis male penis.
Mhm.
So I'm pulling back foreskin and cleaning on top of the head that, of 10,000 nerve endings with a fucking washcloth. That's like
Oh, I
the
can't.
softest
I like
washcloth I
chills.
have. And it hurts so bad.
I have chills because I know the
And I hate doing it. I hate doing it so much, but you have to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, just kill me every time I fucking clean my dick.
Oh my gosh. And yeah, I don't even know.
Nobody talks about that.
Maybe one day people, like, when they start hormones, they'll have a different list to start with than us.
Yeah.
Maybe their symptoms will be a little more spelled out once we get some communication going between our primary cares and our doctors and our people that are helping us. Maybe they can start to put that in a little curriculum. I think that'll be badass.
It would have been great for my doctor to just tell me that I needed to clean my dick a different way. But here we are.
I don't know if I don't know if they know. I don't know if they know.
I don't think they know.
No.
I don't think they know.
I don't think so either. That's why it's super important. Like, even if your question isn't in this episode, like, there are so many groups in Facebook, Reddit. There's so many different spaces for you to be able to communicate, like Discord, and share your experiences and be like, yo, is this normal? You can even post anonymously, which is badass. So, like, you don't have to be like talking about some like really personal things. Like, if I wanted to spell that stuff out, I wouldn't want to put my face on it, because there's people I know that might be in the group and maybe those things are personal that I don't want them to know. So you can do stuff like anonymous questions, and then there's like thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of trans peoples in these groups. And that is where a lot of the education is. That's where it's a lot of like positive, feedback that you can bring to your physician and say, hey, is this true? This is what I'm experiencing. A lot of my other, people that I've talked with that are going through this are feeling this. And that's where the education is big time needed.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So Aaron.
Yeah.
When did you get ass hair?
Dude, I literally have that on my list, bro. Come on. Dude, it was one of my biggest fears of starting hormones was that I was just gonna be a gorilla.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know. Like, my dad had facial hair and a little bit of fuzz, but like, I don't know. I was just worried that head to toe, I was just gonna be like, a little bit. And it wasn't as bad as I thought, but there's definitely like my legs and my butt, even it's just like, it looks like a man's ass.
Yeah. The ass hair was pretty much immediate with me.
It goes from peach fuzz to like semi-terminal hairs, right?
Yeah, like pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And all in the crack. Just all in the crack, man.
So expect that you're gonna get a lot of hair. There's gonna be there's gonna in new places. Like, for a little while, I had this clean line of only chest fuzz here, like this super straight line. Like, it looked like I shaved like that. And then like a couple of weeks ago, I got like some up here, and I was like, man, come on, you're just gonna cut it off by like one or two, like.
I'm starting to get like it started just right here.
Yes.
As you can see, I shaved very unevenly. I buzzed this part for my trans tape and then did it uneven on this side. But it started right here and then just kind of got more up and out a little bit, and it was still only just on my chest until just in the center until probably like 2 years ago, and then like whole titties just covered in hair, and then it's going like, you can't see, but it's like up here now. And the one thing I didn't want was a hairy back, and lo and behold, almost 4 years on T, I'm getting back hair.
Yeah, I've been on like my mid back down, but like the middle of my back up doesn't. So I'm just
same.
I'm like hanging on, like, Please
Same.
don't.
I'm like, please don't. I don't want to be one of those guys who takes off the shirt and is then in a sweater.
And I do think I do think that like these, gosh, I don't know. I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
That's okay.
Clip
Clip it.
clip it.
Another thing my doctor said that would happen to me was that I'd experienced vaginal dryness, and I have not.
Bitch,
I have.
where?
Bitch, where is the vaginal dryness? Because I have experienced the opposite problem, where my vaginal has not increased in dryness, and in fact has very much increased in wetness since I started taking testosterone. And I don't know what the fuck that is about.
How could you tell someone that their libido is gonna 4x, but that is not?
Right, you're going to be 10 times hornier. Your genitalia is such
Natural
that it
anatomy.
self-lubricates when you are aroused,
Yep.
but you're going to experience
The opposite.
vaginal dryness. And like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure that happens.
I'm sure
It probably happens a lot,
Yeah.
but like, it's not the only thing that's going to happen.
No.
You might also experience a lot more moisture.
Yeah. You might have to change your drawers.
You might have to change your drawers a lot more. You might have to just go to the bathroom just to wipe.
Just to clean up.
Right. Bring some baby wipes or something. I don't know that, but that was like yeah, because it was like I was like soaking through my boxers.
Yeah. I think I already had I was already a very clammy person.
Yeah.
So I did not expect. I mean, they said you'd get sweatier, but I thought just like that was just like under my arms. I thought like my hands. So I think I already had to talk to my doctor about hyperhidrosis. I already think that was kind of like a thing. So, but then when this came, it was even more. It was even more just like sweaty. I just can't.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do about it, really. I mean, I
It's
literally have to
back
wipe my
now.
hands. I'm just like, that's what I got.
Yup.
That's what I'm working
Yup.
on. I'm sorry.
Me too, buddy.
I'm sorry. But it is what it is. Think
Oh,
all
I
it is.
think that might be everything on my list.
I covered. That's what I covered. I also want to know what the people think. I want to know what are the things that you guys experience that you may think, hey, like, wait a second, is this normal for everybody? Comment below. We want to see those.
And comment below if you also experience what we've said that we experience.
Yes.
Because I don't want to feel like I'm the only guy here.
Yeah, I mean, like, we just put this out on the internet, so like y'all gotta back us up a little bit.
Like,
You know what I'm saying? We're trying to put this out for you, but you gotta help us and let us know we're not alone. Like, we're trying to help you know that you're not alone. Okay, so whatever platform you're on, drop it below. We actually do comment. I answer every comment. Bo answers every comment. We will talk to you either way. So make sure you're following us on socials and let us know your experience, because that's super important.
leave a pink heart emoji if you got a fat pussy like me.
Oh my gosh. No, I have to know the very end of the. Oh, this is good.
Yes, I'll know who watches to the very end.
We'll know. We love you guys. Thanks for checking.
Love you.
Hope you found this helpful, and we will see you next week.
Bye.